Hi everybody, it's Julie. I know it's been a hot minute since my last video, but man, I was gearing up for a huge holiday release. And when I gear up for a release, I just hunker down and get busy busting out samples until I come up gasping for air. So anyway, I wanted to share how I made this full-on glitter panel on my card for the holidays. And I'm going to be working with Concord and Ninth's ink pads. Now, I've got the whole collection here on these wonderful little ink cubes. You get the whole set and you get these labels that you can put on the ink cubes. It's so fun to have this wide range of colors all in this complete set. So I like to lay my ink cubes out in order that I'm going to need them because that way I'll remember what order I'm working in. I want to create this sort of Christmas ombre effect in kind of reds and pinks and greens. And so that's why I did that. So I'll know now which order I'm going to put these in. And I'm working with the brand new Christmas is Too Sparkly, said no one ever, because really, Christmas is never too sparkly. I thought this was so fun to have in a stamp. And on the set, it says, wishing you an extra sparkly Christmas, which I think is so fun. So anyway, I put my light pink color on first, and then I'm going to come back in with a darker color of pink. And where the two colors meet, I'm going to blend the edges with a sponge. Now you can re-ink and stamp as many times as you need to. I did do it for several of the colors multiple times, but I didn't keep that in the video because I was like, who wants to watch me just do the same thing over and over and over again? So, but basically, I'm just applying the color where I want it, and you can tilt the little ink cube if you want to. This makes it much easier to create this kind of a rainbow effect on a stamp where you're doing the multi-inking when you've got these small ink cubes versus full-size pads. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do it with a full-size pad. It's just easier with these smaller ink cubes. Anyway, I'm just coming in and blending where the colors meet, and then I'll stamp. And when I get to the point where I'm ready to transition into the greens, I'm going to clean this off because I really don't want to contaminate my green ink pads with any of that rich red color. Now, if it were just light pink, I wouldn't worry about it, but I'm transitioning from reddish, orangish into this light green, and so I don't want to mess that up. So after I cleaned my stamp, I dried it off thoroughly, and then I came in and I'm using the ink cube to just get that one portion right there. And then I'm going to come on down to the bottom of this image. These stamps or these ink pads are really nicely saturated. And I love this bold font here on this sentiment because then it makes it fun to do these kind of multi-inking effects. Now to coat this whole thing with glitter, I'm going to take some of this Express It double-sided adhesive sheet. Now, there are other adhesive sheets you can use. There's, is it Stick It? You can use that. Whatever double-sided sheet adhesive you got. Now, this, I like it. It comes in a full, 8.5 by 11 type sheet. So you can cut it into quarter sheets. And that's what I did. And then I'm going to peel back one of the liners and very carefully place my panel face down onto that adhesive. So I'm just trying to be careful that I'm not getting like fingerprints all over that adhesive because of course it kind of detackifies tape when the oil from your fingertips gets on those. So I'm trying to be very careful about not touching that too much or as little as possible. And then I'm going to flip that over and burnish it with the palm of my hand there on the back side to get a really nice adhesion all over. And then I wanted to trim this down because I'm going to mount it to a Nina Solar White base card, and it's going to be a 4.25 by 5.5. So I'm going to trim this down to 4 inches by 5.25. And I wanted to have that 1/8 inch margin all around there. So I'm just using my paper trimmer at this point. Now I haven't removed the liner paper from the top of this panel because it's still coated in adhesive and I don't want it getting stuck all over the blade, or having to deal with that. And now I'm at this point where I've trimmed it all down and I'm ready to go ahead and do the glitter bath. So I'm using an X-acto knife to kind of make a score line through that liner so I can kind of peel back a corner and get a grip on it and peel it away. And there the adhesive is all exposed. And then I'm going to drop that face down into this plastic bin of Prismaglitter and I'm going to press it firmly I'll probably wiggle it a little bit to try to get as much glitter stuck to that entire surface. Flip it over, see what I've got there. And I may even just, like run it through or spoon some more glitter over the top just to make sure I've got complete coverage there. And then at this point, I'll tap off the excess, and you can squeegee it off with your fingers if you want, or you can take a brush like this. Now, I got glitter all over my hands at this point. It's not a feeling I really enjoy, but for the end result, I think it's worth it. And once you get this panel mounted to your base card, and there I am, I'm burnishing from the back side again because I really don't want to rub any of that glitter off. And then I'm going to set that aside for a minute while I make some faux chipboard antlers. So I die cut the antlers like 4 times from some dark brown cardstock. And then I'm just using my chipboard here that has press and seal with the sticky side out. This is just kind of like a DIY sticky mat. And then I can layer my little chipboards on there, and it keeps them steady in place so I can use my glue pen to get glue on them. And then I'm just going to layer all these up until they're all nice and thick. And then I have this nice chipboard effect that I can flip over and glue. Now I use 2-way glue to glue the layers together, but then to glue this onto where all that glitter is, I decided to grab my Tombow because I really wasn't sure what kind of glue would work best on this. So I grabbed the Tombow and it seemed to work really well. So then once I got my antlers in place, I grabbed this little red the little red drops to make a nose for Rudolph, and there we go. It's all sparkly and gorgeous. The whole panel is glittery, and I wish I could capture on camera just how sparkly and dazzling this thing is, but it's the bomb. And it was worth getting all that glitter on my hands. Really, truly it was. So if you think you're up for this and you don't mind getting a little bit of glitter everywhere, it's really fun, and the effect is very dazzling. Trust me on that. Thanks for watching.